Welcome to Take Action and Get Profits with Michele Scism, where entrepreneurs come together to discuss business growth strategies, marketing ideas, techniques, and tips. Brought to you by the Tough Talk Radio Network. Now here's your host, Michele Scism.
Awesome. Welcome back to the show, guys. It's a beautiful Monday, and we got an awful lot to talk about. It's a little warm here in Louisiana, and I hope wherever you are, you're in a very comfortable place. I like to start these shows with a little housekeeping, so wouldn't want to do anything out of the way in that realm. So let's start with that. First of all, you know that you can connect with us in a couple of different ways. Number one, you could call into the show, and that number is 347-989-1363. That's 347-989-1363. The second way you can connect with us is on Facebook, and you can connect with us at facebook.com/Decisive Minds, and then also facebook.com/Tough Talk Radio. And then the third way, I lost count, I think it's third, is by following us on iTunes so that you can re-listen to any of the great shows that we've had. You know, guys, we have the absolute best guests on our shows, so you want to be sure that you are staying connected and having time to hear everything that those guests have to say. So you can follow us on iTunes at Take Action, Get Profits on iTunes.com. That's Take Action, Get Profits on iTunes.com. Now, a lot of you know that this past Friday, I actually taught a 3-hour live stream, taught a 3-hour class on the topic of sales, which is going to be our big topic for the day today too, with both of our guests. And it was really awesome. I went out to Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. I was in the studio there where Sage Events, yeah. That's where their office is and where their studio is. And I went out to South Carolina, played on the beach a little bit, did a little work, and had a fantastic time. Spent 3 amazing hours with a lot of great entrepreneurs who are figuring out this whole sales conversation. And but it was a Friday afternoon, and a lot of times Friday's not, the time when everybody can do those kind of things. So the first thing I wanted to tell you is if you missed it, then we are giving you an opportunity to check it out again. So we're going to be doing it again tomorrow, Tuesday, July 14th, and that's going to start, I think, at 1 Central. So depending on where you are, you can find out more about that at decisiveminds.com/live stream, decisiveminds.com/live stream. And, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. And so we really spent the 3 hours, we spent that day looking at the different things that were going on for entrepreneurs on the topic of sales. So I thought today, since both of our guests want to talk about that topic, which is awesome with me, that I would go a little bit over some of the things that we covered in the live stream. So, one of the things that we were talking about is really the whole situation, the problem around asking for the money. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. As you know, I do a lot of speaking, a lot of traveling, and speak with a lot of entrepreneurs. And a lot of times what I hear them saying is that they just can't figure out how to ask for the money. It is, you're having that conversation, you think this is going to be a sales conversation, and then all of a sudden it's that moment where you should be transitioning over to your offer, and you just don't know how to do it. Either the transition doesn't present itself or something's going on for you. And so I've been putting a lot of thought into what is going on that's stopping entrepreneurs from having the ability to ask for the money. And so, really there are 3 things that stand out for me. Number one comes around the whole idea of fear. And, if you've heard me give any of my talks over the last couple of years, I talk about my book, Take the Risk or Get a Job. And in that book, we talk about 3 main things that keep entrepreneurs from having what they desire, what they say that they want, and one of them is fear. Now, when it comes to sales, what I'm hearing from the majority of you is that it's kind of the fear of rejection. So that's the biggest one, that whole problem of I don't want to put it out there because they might say no, they might think I'm crazy, they might think who is she to think she can get paid that much money. There's a lot of fear going on that isn't always based in fact, right? What is it that they say fear is? It's false evidence appearing real, okay? So we don't want to acknowledge that we're facing those fears, but we have got to address them and face them, right? You have to get to a place where you understand that you cannot help these people with whatever it is that you do, right? Whatever it is, whatever your product or service does for these people, you cannot help them unless they actually hire you. And so if you don't make an offer, how can they hire you, right? We got to get you beyond that point of fear. The second thing that I know to be true when it comes for asking for the money is that you're not doing it enough, right? You do not get enough practice. Your sales conversations are one of those scenarios that gets better over time. It gets better with practice. And so I can promise you, if you stopped right now and just really looked at the reality and said, over the last week, how many sales conversations did you have? Or last month, how many sales conversations did you have? Or the last year? And you should be tracking those things, by the way, so you should know those numbers. But I can guarantee you're not having enough of them, right? And so how can you be closing those sales? 2 points here. Number one, you need practice. But number two, if you know your close rate and you close anywhere from, say, 10 to 20%, well, that means that 8 or 9 out of 10 people are going to tell you no. If you're not holding at least 10 conversations, how can you be expecting to get that sale, to have that person hire you to help you in their relationship, or help you develop their business, or have you create their website, or whatever that looks like? So number two on the reasons that I think that you can't ask for the money is that you're not getting enough practice, you're not doing it enough, you're not holding enough sales conversations. And then number three is a biggie, and it is the whole conversation around whether you're clear on your own value. Now, earlier I said that fear plays into it. And I think these two kind of go hand in hand sometimes, right? So I want you to think about who you've worked with. I want you to think about what you did for them, right? What was it? What did you guys work on? What did they hire you for? What did you barter for with them? Because you might have done that. But the big question here to help you be clear on your value is to look at what it would have been like for them if they hadn't worked with you, right? Would they have lost that relationship? Would they be divorced right now? Would they have lost their business? Would their website still suck and nobody would be coming to it, and they'd have no traffic? Whatever that is that you do for people, I want you to start to think about that. So when you can get clear and own your own value, then you can create packages and programs and price your services in a way that, number one, is at the right level, but also, number two, gives you that security, it gives you that confidence in being able to make the offer, which comes back to the fear, right? Because a lot of times people aren't making the offer because they get to that moment in the conversation where they're not sure what to offer the person, right? It's because they're not clear on their own values, so they don't have a funnel set up, or they don't have their programs clearly defined. So all of it works hand in hand. We know that, right? We know that as sales professionals. And by the way, all of you entrepreneurs out there, you better figure out how to be a sales professional. I know that's probably not why you're in business. The majority of people are not in business to sell. They want to make a change in the world. However, you are in the business of selling, right? No sales is no cash. No cash is no business. So remember that. All right, guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will talk to our first guest of the show. So hold on.
Listen to The Legal Eagle and The Coach each Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. on Tough Talk Radio Network. Leading local and national experts in business will share their keys to success so that our listening audience can be educated and entertained along the way to becoming all they can be. So whether you're new to business or highly experienced, The Legal Eagle and The Coach with hosts David Alterburn and Brian Kaiser is a great radio program for you. For more information, go to legaleagleandthecoachradio.com.
Live at Choice, where your imagination becomes your reality. If you can imagine it, it's possible. If you can believe it, it's yours. We get it. You're done with the way it is now. You're finished with all the frustration around why you feel stuck and your life isn't working. Imagine what your life would be like if you could have all the answers and see new possibilities. We at Live at Choice choose to make a difference. Live at Choice has developed a proven process and a series of questions that lead participants to the answers they seek, gaining new understanding and self-awareness for both your personal and professional life. If you're ready to get to the life you want, contact us today. Visit liveatchoice.com to get started.
Attention entrepreneurs, it's time to get real. Real about who you are, where you want to be, and what you're willing to do to get there. To make the leap from just getting by to making real money and making a real difference in this world takes a plan and certain skills. If you are serious about building a business that makes a difference in this world, join Michele Scism at her Legacy Live event in Houston, Texas, September 10th through the 12th. Learn more at legacyliveevent.com. We will see you there.
Yay, I love it when I hear my own commercials on the show. And I get to welcome our first guest to the show. Amy, are you there?
I am. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so very welcome. I'm excited to have you here. This is one of my absolute all-time favorite topics. So when I saw that we had some sales professionals on today, I was like, yay, this is awesome. So let me take a second, and I'm going to introduce you to everyone, but then I really want to get the why is Amy kind of conversation to happen. So I'll come right back to you. But, guys, this is Amy Walker, and she's an international executive business coach and the CEO and founder of Amy Walker Consulting. As a featured speaker, she's shared the stage with some of the top names in the industry, including Willie, Jolley, and, I'm going to mess up that name, Delatorro, McNeal II. I got it, yay. So Amy is a master of sales and has written sales scripts for billion-dollar companies and organizations. She's been regularly featured on television, radio, and print, and she is passionate about women in business, making businesses thrive, and balancing business and family. And she is a happily married mother of 5 boys. And I saw your picture, and you still have hair. So I'm telling you, that's quite a statement in itself when I read that one. So how old are the boys?
My youngest is 2.5, and my oldest will be 13 next month. So we got a house full. That's a house full. So, Amy, tell us, how did you get into this career, and how did Amy Walker Consulting come about? I started in business when I was 19. I started recruiting. I was recruiting volunteers to go teach English in different countries. And I didn't realize at the time that was a sales job. I'd gone to Russia. I'd had this amazing experience. I wanted to share it with other people. But looking back, I was getting people to commit to paying their own way to going and working for free for a semester of their lives. So it was definitely a sales job. I didn't know I was in sales, and so I had no fear of rejection. And I did great. I was amazing. I was the reason that company stopped having a commission-based pay, because I was making awesome money as a college student. They were used to having people they would call them representatives, and they would recruit 2 to 3 people a semester, and I recruited 23. And then the next semester we went to hourly, and I was like, oh, bummer. That was a college job. But my first experience in sales that I knew I was in sales was I actually started a direct sales business, and I was selling cosmetics, and I was horrible. I went from being the top producer because I didn't know I was selling to now I know I'm selling, and I had that fear of rejection. I was scared to talk to people. I wasn't clear on what my value was, and I was horrible.
I figured it out, and by my third year in business, the first three I